Hey guys, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today we wanted to start an exciting reading vlog of Home Before Dark. This is my sister Rachel. We decided to buddy read this book together because Home Before Dark is my most anticipated book of the year because Riley Sager is one of my favorite thriller authors, and so I asked Rachel if she'd be down to like buddy read the book with me. And she did. Yeah. And it was a very, very fun experience, and it was really fun because we actually got the chance to like not talk to each other at all while we were reading the book, because she actually took this book with her on this trip that she just took to LA to get her dog. So she was like away from me when she read the book, and she vlogged her experience reading it, and then I vlogged my experience reading it. And then this is just kind of like an experimental vlog of me like merging the two vlogs together and seeing how it turns out. So you guys will have to let me know what you think about this, if you would like us to do more buddy reads like this in the future, because it was super fun. This vlog does contain some spoilers, but I do put a spoiler warning over the screen anytime that we are talking about spoilers. But I will warn you, there are some spoilers. Like almost all of Rachel's clips towards the end are all spoilery. I tried to keep mine as non-spoilery as I could, but I also did dive into some spoilers. But I did put a spoiler tag on the screen for the entire time that spoilers are being talked about. So if you haven't read the book yet, then you can still watch this video. You can just skip the spoiler sections. And this book does come out on June 30th, so it's coming up right around the corner. I would highly recommend getting a copy of this book. Why don't you just give us a brief synopsis of like what the book is about in general? Like just very brief.
Without spoiling it?
Yeah, without spoiling it. Just like, what is the book about?
So it's about this like family that moves into this like already like, it's like a known like haunted house like in this like little small town, and like everybody knows about its history. And it's like a family, like just two parents and a daughter that's 5 years old. Like her dad wrote this book about what happened to them in the house, and you find out that they were only in this house for 20 days. And then the book just kind of unravels about like what happened. Like she's trying to discover like the truth about the book, and like it takes you along to like, so like half the book is like, it alternates chapters between the book, like what happened when it's from the dad's point of view, and then the other chapters are like up to date of like when she's like an adult. And like it's so good. And it's so creepy.
We are now going to send you back in time to when we started reading this book, and you will get to see our experiences reading this book. So here we go. Oh, hello. It is Sunday night, and it is finally time for me to start Home Before Dark. I'm so freaking excited about this. I've heard nothing but good things about this book so far, and I trust Riley Sager with my entire life. And I painted my nails black because I just wanted to have like a matching spooky vibe for this book. I'm honestly so excited, and I'm planning on trying to read this book within the next day, because I know once I get hooked, it's gonna be so hard for me to put this book down. So I'm just really hoping I can just get into it tonight. And I can't believe it's finally time. I've honestly been pushing off reading this book because I've had this book in my possession for over 2 weeks now, but I've been pushing it off because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous. Like, I don't know why, when I'm about to read my most anticipated book of the year, I get kind of nervous because I feel like sometimes I might be setting the bar way too high and then I'll end up being disappointed. I feel like this time I'm not gonna be disappointed. Like, there's no way I'm not gonna love this, and I'm really excited. And yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into the reading.
Okay, so I'm currently reading the book Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. Riley Sager. I really knew nothing about it. I just heard it was like a really creepy book. So I'm about 89 pages in, and Gabby told me to update like about every 100 pages. All I'm gonna say about it is it's very, if you've watched like Haunting of Hill House, it feels very like Haunting of Hill House, like the way it's told, like it goes back and forth between like what is happening now, like in the future, and then what happened in the past about like the house, like when they were living in it. It also feels very heavily like Haunting of Hill House because almost like even the characters match up with Haunting of Hill House. There's like you know, the people that worked for the house, like the family before, like it all feels very similar. The only difference is it's like one kid, like one daughter, and then like a parent, two parents. So the family's a lot less smaller, but still it's like Very interesting. I really like it. It does a good job at leaving like a lot of mystery, so you know you want to keep reading and it actually keeps you very interested. But I will like talk about some spoilery parts, like some of my predictions. You've been warned. But I think that it's kind of strange that the daughter thinks like they lied about everything in the book just to make money, but I feel like most of it was true, and like she's just like forgotten everything because like she was 5 years old, but also because like when you go through like a traumatic experience, especially as a child, like sometimes your brain will like completely like black out everything that happened to you. So I feel like she's just not like, cause she still has like dreams about Mr. Shadow and like all this. It's like bent neck lady, right? So like I feel like she still like is having these dreams because it was real, like it actually happened to her. It just makes sense to me that she would be like reliving it, right? Or like, I don't know, like it actually did happen, but like her parents are trying to protect her from that because they don't want it to like revamp and like get crazy like it was back then when she was a kid or something. So, and like her dad's last words to her were like, it is not safe for you to go there, don't ever go there. And then when she asked like to explain, he just said so sorry and then he died. Why would he say that if like he actually made all that up? Like why would he tell her it's like not safe for her to go there? I don't know, it's like something's like strange about it. And I definitely think that maybe some of the book was like made up to, you know, make money, but I feel like some of it was true, and especially because after she talks to like the chief about it and then she said it looked like you guys saw a ghost, I feel like that has to be sort of real. It just feels so much like Haunting Hill House. It's like insane, which is fun because I really love that show. So I haven't been spooked out yet, and I heard it's really creepy, so we're getting to some good parts. There's like some little things so far, like with the snake and random things keep disappearing, but nothing really like spooky yet, so we'll see. I have a feeling that's gonna change real quick.
100 pages into this book, and so far I am obsessed with this. I feel like this book is so similar to The Haunting of Hill House in so many different ways, and I kind of love it for that reason. I love the fact that it's kind of like building up this suspense to like the last night that they spent in this house, and I love that we're going back and forth between the daughter's point of view and the dad's point of view from his like book chapters, and I'm just like absolutely loving this so far. I'm loving the atmosphere. It's just very spooky and creepy, and it's just like perfect to be reading at night right now because it's just like so creepy. So far I feel like I'm enjoying this just as much as I enjoyed Lock Every Door, so that is a great sign to me, and I'm just really excited to see where this goes. I don't trust anybody in this book, oh my gosh, and I really want to finish this book soon because I need answers and I'm obsessed with reading it, and I'm not going to stop reading it.
Page 127, and my thoughts are still the same. I'm curious to see where it goes. I still have not been creeped out quite yet, so I'm curious to see if it gets scarier, which I'm sure it will. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of spoilery content. I just got to the part where the journalist Brian said to her that about Petra, and how it's weird that Petra disappeared or vanished the same night the family left the house, which is hella weird. And he's also kind of implying maybe that there was something like sexual going on between the dad and Petra, which that totally threw me off guard. I obviously don't know if that's true or not, but I don't feel like that would be the route that this book would go. I don't know, I'm curious to see that play out and if we ever find out why Petra vanished, but that is definitely strange that she left the same night that the family did. I'm very curious to see where that goes. I don't know, I just had to share that information because it shook me to my core, and I added notes about it in the book because I was like, whoa, okay. Okay, so I just got to the part where Maggie just ran upstairs and heard the vinyl record playing the same song that her dad just experienced back in the old days when they were there. And I can say that I'm definitely a little creeped out because I like how he goes back and forth between like in the past something happened and then it's like happening to Maggie now that she's like staying there. And it's kind of funny to me how she keeps like trying to come up with all these like different ideas of like what it could have been. How she's like, oh, it's like a House of Horrors prankster or whatever, but it's such a weird coincidence that like all this stuff keeps happening to her, the same thing that like is happened to her dad. Definitely starting to get creepy because the chapters now are starting to like correlate with each other, like the past and the future. So definitely curious to see where this goes.
Stayed up and read until page 204, so I'm more than halfway through it now. And last night I read some really creepy shit, and I'm not gonna lie, I literally slept with the light on. Like I slept with the little glowy lights under my desk on because I was kind of freaked out. And I stopped reading this at like 1:15 in the morning, so like I was going straight to bed after reading this and I was just so spooked. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It's still giving me major like Haunting of Hill House vibes, and it's also kind of reminding me of The Shining a little bit, like certain aspects of it are. And holy shit, I'm obsessed with it. But I want to jump into one kind of little spoiler thing just to like say what I'm finding so scary about this. So there will be a spoiler warning over my face while I'm talking about this. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, the imagery of the, what was it, like the penny face girl that she like mentioned, like the girl that has pennies in her eyes but she's like still watching you and she can still see you. That was creepy. That really scared me. And then also all the scenes with the freaking Mr. Shadow, like oh my god, when she's sitting there with her parents and they can hear like tapping in the hallway and then they're like, what is that? And she's like, that's Mr. Shadow. Like the fuck. And when she like is having a dream as an adult and she's like, I hear the armored doors crack open because she has that thing in her room that's like, I imagine it to be something that's kind of like Narnia, like a Narnia closet where there's like these grand doors that they can open, but like the doors like open by themselves and she sees like Mr. Shadow just like standing in there like staring at her. And then she's like, then the doors close and he's suddenly standing over the bed like telling her, you're gonna die here. Like oh my god, was so scary. And she's like confused because she says it feels more like a memory than like something that she just had a nightmare of or something. And that scene when it's like one of the first nights she's in the house overnight and then she sees like a dark figure like standing out in the woods just like watching her in the house, and like they're not doing anything, they're just like standing there watching, and she gets so freaked out and she goes and runs outside and like there's nobody there, obviously. There's just so many different creepy things so far. Okay, so I just got to the part in the book where Petra's body just fell down from the ceiling and her sister just confirmed it was her because she saw the gold crucifix, which I guess is her necklace. Things are starting to get weird because this does not look good for Maggie's dad, and the story is starting not to add up. It's time for me to go over to my parents' house, but I have been reading more this afternoon. I'm now on page 294. And this book just continues to be so scary and so much fun. I will put a spoiler warning here. I'm sorry, I know I keep wanting to talk about spoilers, but like there's just so much going on that I need to talk about this. So I just got past the point where they started using the Ouija board to talk to the ghost that's like in the house. So we find out that the guy Curtis Carver, the one that killed his daughter, like he is Mr. Shadow that the little girl is talking to. And then we find out that the little girl that Maggie keeps talking to is the little girl that died, which I kind of thought that, but it's interesting to know Mr. Shadow actually is this Curtis dude. And then we find out when he's using the Ouija board to talk to him, which was also super creepy, by the way, because he kept being like, he's like, what is the message you're trying to send? And he was just saying careful, 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 like over and over again, and that was like super creepy. But then he asked him, did you kill your daughter? And he said no. So now I'm like, wait, what? Like maybe there's more to that story there. Like maybe somebody else killed the daughter, like maybe the mom is involved, like Marta, like I don't know. And yeah, oh my god, that scene with like the sleepover with all the girls was like so creepy. Now like as an adult, Maggie's like going back to the therapist and asking like what she was like as a kid, and the therapist is pretty much confirming the fact that she thinks Maggie like genuinely believed in these ghosts as a kid, and so it's freaking her out even more. Yeah, anyways, I have like less than 100 pages left and I'm so excited. Like I have no idea where this story is going.
I just read the part where they found Indigo's love letters from Calum, and it just got weird because they're suspecting that her dad killed her for not marrying the right guy or whatever. So does that mean that the past 2 people that lived in this house, a father killed their daughter? Because first it was the, oh my gosh, what are their names? Calverts, and then now it's the Garsons. Like, this is getting crazy. No wonder like the dad is saying it's not safe for you, like the daughter and stuff, because the dads keep killing their daughters, I guess. So not good, not good. And this whole thing with Petra is like definitely starting to get weird. Okay, so I just got to the part in the book where Maggie calls the chief because she hears the same song and thinks it's an intruder, and then the chief is like, no signs of a break-in. But this is the part where she actually is admitting now that she thinks that the book could all be real, and she thinks it's not an intruder, and she thinks it's like something paranormal or something. So finally she's actually admitting that some of this could actually be happening, and maybe her dad doesn't sound as crazy as she thought he has been this whole time. So, oh, and then she just smashed the record player, so I don't know if that's gonna come with repercussions, but it doesn't sound good. I think it was so good. I loved how it went from like paranormal to thriller to like so many different genres, it felt like, and the book had so many twists at the end. When I was telling Gabby about it before she read it, I was like, there's literally a twist within a twist. Like, it's literally crazy. Highly recommend it. I read it in like 2 days. It's definitely a page turner. But yeah, so I'll talk about spoilers in just a second. I can't even believe that Dane was like dating Petra, and then like literally when I was reading the letter and they thought that like Maggie killed Petra, like what the fuck, dude. I was like, when I read it, I was like actually kind of surprised that I didn't see it coming, which like made me kind of upset. But then I was like, okay, like that was a good twist. And then right after that it goes into like Petra actually getting killed by Marta or something. I was like, wait, what, dude? Like, oh my god, that was like completely out of left field. Did not see that coming. And then she was like saying how she already ate the baneberries and the cherry pie. I was like, shut the fuck up. Oh my god, this is so bad. She like threw her down the stairs. Oh my gosh, I was like, are you serious, dude? Like, this is crazy. And then how the whole thing wasn't even paranormal. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, but I think it's like actually a book I think I would like reread again, because I think it might be even better the second time, because you would like catch everything and like actually knowing like what actually happened in it like again, and like look back at like things, because it's like the whole book you think like the dad and Petra have like a relationship. I feel like I would reread it and then see like what happened. But also like low-key, I don't know why Maggie is like so mad at the mom at the end. you know, because like, I mean, I get it obviously because they didn't tell her that like she killed Petra, but like I also feel like it was like kind of wrong like how mad she got at her mom. But also I think it's like really sad that her dad will never know that like Maggie didn't kill Petra. Like that's like really sad. Yeah, I really liked it. Highly recommend it, and I feel like it would be a really cool TV show or movie like on Netflix or something, just like Haunting Hill House. I think it would do really good. I think people would really love it. I really enjoyed it. So
just finished Home Before Dark, and I loved this book so much. I feel like I'm honestly still trying to absorb all the different plot twists because there were so many twists that I didn't see coming. And it's like one of those things where you think you have it figured out and then it's like nope, and then it's like nope, and then it's like nope, you thought. And I just really, really loved the vibe of this book. Everything about this book just reminded me so much of Haunting of Hill House in the best way, and I was completely shocked and flabbergasted by the end of this book. In the update where I was just talking to you earlier, I was like, oh, I finally figured this out. Like, no, wrong, you were wrong. You thought you had it figured out, but you didn't. And I love the way that Riley Sager just so effortlessly blends horror and thriller together. Like, honestly, the first half of this book felt a lot more horror to me, and it wasn't until something happens in the plot where it finally starts to feel more like a thriller. But I kind of love it for that reason, because I just like love horror lately, and Riley Sager is just the best author at like merging thriller and horror together and making it work. And I love this book so much, and I feel like this book would be better on a reread, because I feel like now, knowing all of the information that I know after finishing this book, I think it would be really cool to go back and reread it a second time. But wow, I really love this, and I can't wait to talk about it with my sister. I will say, I don't know if this is my favorite from Riley Sager. Like, Lock Every Door might still be my favorite. I don't know. I feel like I need more time to absorb this book and reflect on it, because I remember after finishing Lock Every Door, I was thinking I didn't know if that one was my favorite from him, and then after taking some time, I was like, no, that one is definitely my favorite. So I feel like I need to give this book that same time to like really think about it before I'm just like, this is my new favorite. But oh my god, this was so good. Definitely an easy 5 out of 5 for me. I just love Riley Sager's writing so much. Alright, so that is the end of the reading vlog of Home Before Dark. What are your like final thoughts? I know you kind of like did already touch on that, but like, what is your like instant like
I try to keep telling Gabby like, oh, it has like a twist within a twist at the end.
Yeah.
Like when you think you've reached it, it just keeps going. So it's definitely a roller coaster, but there isn't really like a dull moment in the book, which is nice. Because I never felt like myself lagging or like skimming. Like I felt like, I mean, you skim because you're like trying to get to the juice, but
yeah.
It's still like, you know, you're still reading like all the words. Like you still want to know what's happening. You care about all the characters. And this book does, I feel like, have a lot of characters, but it's still really easy to follow.
Yeah. I was getting slightly confused sometimes with like the families that lived there before.
Yeah.
It was like I was getting all their names mixed up because I feel like there were so many different stories that you find out about. Besides that, yeah, I thought it was freaking amazing. Like, I love how Riley Sager can blend like horror with thriller so well. Like, I love the fact that at times this book feels more like a horror book, and then later on it starts to feel more like a thriller. Like, I just love that he's able to do that so well. To jump into some spoilery thoughts, if you haven't read this book, please go and read this book and come back and watch this vlog once you have read this book, because I feel like this vlog would be so much more fun for you if you have read the book and you can fangirl over it with us. But to jump into some spoilery thoughts for the rest of this vlog is going to be us talking about spoilers. What was like the biggest, most mind-boggling plot twist to you that you were like, what?
I think, well, for me, like the first one was when they started suspecting like Petra with her dad.
Yes.
Because I feel like that was so off my radar. Like I wasn't even open to that. So I was like, wait, what? Like, no way.
Yeah.
No way. And then when it was Dane with Petra, I was like, wait, what? Like Dane?
Yeah. I thought Dane was gonna be the one the entire book. I was like, he did something to her. Like, I literally, I don't know, like right from the beginning, I just didn't trust Dane. It was like the way that they met was like super weird. And then like, I don't know, I was just like, I don't trust him. He's like fishy of something. I thought I had it right the whole time. Like, I was so like excited when I realized like Mr. Shadow was like the guy that like died there, and then like the little girl that she was seeing was the little girl who died. I thought I had like everything figured out, and it's like, no, that was all literally made up.
I know,
and, like,
it's so funny because I think in the beginning of this vlog, like when I first started reading it, I think my prediction was that they she like actually did experience all of this and she just doesn't remember.
Yeah.
And like, I guess in a way that's like sort of true.
Yeah.
Now looking back at it, like, but it's so like I was telling Gabby, like, I feel like Riley Sager should make a list of things that were real and the things that weren't, because I feel like a lot of it, you're like, wait, like, you're like questioning everything at the end, because you're like, okay, so like, was any of this paranormal stuff real? Because the dad said he actually did get the idea of the book to like save Maggie from, was like the like Mr. Shadow, right? Like, she was talking about Mr. Shadow and Miss Pennyface, like, so she actually was experiencing that.
Well, and we were talking about, like, she ended up saying at the very end that Miss Pennyface that she was seeing was actually that girl Elsa, right? Which was like one of the maids or whatever, like one of the girls that was cleaning the house. But we were like talking about it and we were like, why is she coming back to the house? Like, because that's who Maggie was seeing, like, it was that girl Elsa, but we're like, why is she there?
I don't know.
I feel like that's kind of a plot hole, unless I missed something. Why would she just continue coming back to the house? Because I thought they said at the beginning that they couldn't afford to pay her. I don't know.
I think it's really sad that her dad is never gonna find out that Maggie wasn't a killer. Like, he literally spent his whole life trying to fix that and like
trying to protect her.
Yeah, like literally ruined their relationship and like ruined his relationship, like his marriage. She didn't even do it. Like, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
I thought for sure the entire book that the dad and Petra had some kind of like creepy, weird relationship. I was like, ugh. I'm kind of glad that it didn't end up going that route, because I felt like that route would have been like, ooh.
Yeah, weird. I also really like the last scene in the book, like when they're like, when he discovers that like Indigo is the one that's like killing like all the daughters, or like taking over their dad's bodies and like killing daughters. And I thought it was so interesting when like Indigo was like chasing them and he had to like take a picture to like know where she was, and then he would like throw Maggie to like the mom would just be like running with her, and like,
that's what I mean, like,
dude, it was crazy.
Even if none of those like paranormal chapters were like real, like they were still written so well. Like, I was so spooked. I think the scariest scene in the entire book for me was when Maggie's like sitting in the bed with her parents and they hear like the tapping in the hallway and they're like,
dude,
what
that
is
was
that?
so
and she's
creepy.
like,
I wrote in the book like, oh hell no.
It literally reminded me so much of The Haunting of Hill House right there, with that like really tall dude. God, everything about it was so creepy. Like, after reading that scene, it was like 1 in the morning when I read that scene, and then I was like, I need to sleep with the lights on.
Yeah,
I was so freaked out. Like, oh, like some of those scenes, especially with the Ouija board too, like those scenes were written really well. Like, I just thought it was so creepy.
Or when the vinyl record like skipped on Carol.
I know.
Carol.
I was like, what?
I was like, that's crazy.
I love the fact that this book has already been optioned for a film. Like, it might get turned into a film, because I can so see them doing such a great job with this film. Like, and I can just hear that like soundtrack. I hope they keep the same song of like,
oh, they have to. I feel like that has a lot to the story.
Yeah, it's a major significance.
The lyrics like imply that like only the girls die that are young. Like, this house like did actually do damage to their family.
Oh, definitely.
Like, whether it wasn't like, you know, Maggie getting murdered, it was still like someone did get murdered and it still ruined their family, and she still was under 17, right? It is kind of creepy that that story keeps going. You know, every family that lives there, like a girl under 18 dies.
That's what we were talking about, because we were like, okay, even if the house like isn't even paranormal, even if they made everything up, it's still like a weird coincidence, right? That like they keep saying it was accidents, like it wasn't actually like a demon that took over their bodies and whatever made them kill their daughters, but like the fact that those accidents just kept happening, like that's kind of
it was
weird. And I kind of feel like that leaves it almost kind of like ambiguous there. Like, we don't know, like maybe there is something paranormal happening there, we just don't have it confirmed, obviously. You know, I don't know. It's so great.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was so good. And the most exciting part about this whole experience is that Rachel is like into thrillers now, and she asked me for more thrillers to read, and she's currently reading
Turn of the Key.
The Turn of the Key. Dude, I'm so stoked, because you all know how much I love The Turn of the Key. I just reread it last month. It's like one of my favorite thrillers ever. So like, I'm so stoked. Like, if this is the book that gets Rachel into thrillers,
I don't know if it's necessarily thrillers. I think it's just like paranormal.
Yeah, then you're more into the horror thrillers like I am.
Thrillers feel contemporary until you get to the part, you know what I mean? But I feel like horror keeps it like creepy, and then it's thriller on top of it, and then it's back to creepy.
Yeah. You will have to let us know your thoughts on The Turn of the Key. Rachel also does have a YouTube channel. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'll link it up above so you can check out her YouTube channel because she's making videos now. We all peer pressured her enough and now she's doing that.
I'm only like, what, 100 pages into the turnip key?
Yep. So it'll be finished by this week. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, maybe.
Ooh. But yeah, that just about does it for this reading vlog. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please let me know if you have read this book. Please let me know what your thoughts are on it. What was the scariest part of the book for you? And if you haven't read it yet and you're still watching, like, girl, what you doing? But please do go pick up a copy of this book when it comes out on June 30th because Riley Sager does not disappoint. I can trust him with my life and he will write amazing things, and it's great. And also let us know if you'd like to see us do something like this again and what your thoughts are on an experimental type of vlog like this where I just like took both of our vlog stuff and put it together. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye.